Hello. I know. I look terrible. Sit with me for a while and help me make this better. Oh, so I was going through my messages, and Linda, you're right. Sometimes a dog's one of those run and hunt dogs, and that is Frankie. I'm in acceptance now. Now I just have to up my game on taking care of keeping him and others safe. And Melanie, you're sticking up for that dog, not saying hello. He needs to learn how to be polite. Speaking of, hello. Come here. Come here. Frankie, come. Jump. No? All right. So, yeah, sticking up for that boy. Look at that snob. Okay, and Janet, thank you for your question about foundation. You know what? Foundation has been probably foundation and mascara has been the bane of my existence. I always come back. As far as mascara, I always come back to Great Lash. It just is so dependable. And well, let me tell you a little something. When I was young, everybody out in my area, we didn't do glam makeup. Plus, glam makeup was nothing like it is today, like it has been for the last 5 years. It's really, maybe even 10 years. It's really good. I mean, for mainstream population, heavy eyeliner and identified brows and lip color were usually about as, unless you were in the underworld or in the some kind of, you know, I don't even know. I just didn't know anybody who were, there were several color shades of eyeshadow. That was it. But then and it was fairly inexpensive. I mean, makeup was fairly inexpensive. And there was CoverGirl, Maybelline, and Revlon. All three of those when I was a kid. Other makeup, just never really heard of it. You know, our drugstores, we didn't have Walmart. We had smaller stores. We had Osco's, and Osco's was replaced by Walgreens when I got older. But we had Osco's and Clark's and Bergman's. Berglund's. That's where we got makeup. Is at these pharmacies, drugstores, gift shop arrangements. So it was so exciting to learn as I got older that there were other selections of makeup coming out, and in the bigger cities that I had never ever heard of. So when I started making an income, a decent income, I started experimenting with makeup. And some of the mascara is great, but it's the ones that I like are very expensive. And they're not so much better than this that I was loyal to them. So when my income would go up or down, or maybe not my income going up and down, when I would spend more money on things that would come up or spoiling myself, there were certain things that I would reduce spending money on just to kind of balance things out. So if I were, say, on a budget that month or two, I would lean back on this. And makeup, I would lean back on CoverGirl. Now, I haven't gone back to CoverGirl in decades because my skin changed and I started using Revlon. I don't even remember what it was. I have not been loyal to a foundation, and I'll tell you why. I've always been hard to match with color. I've always been so hard. It's either I was so pale, and I always picked the lightest one, but I also had some kind of chemical in me. I forgot what it's called, but a lot of people have it, where makeup will turn orange. And it's one of the reasons why once I find some lipsticks that I like, I stick with them, because I don't like that much color. And foundations would turn orange on me. So, I don't know. I was always switching around on foundation, and I almost always only wore lip gloss, because colored lip gloss wouldn't change colors on me as much as a lipstick would. So I'm going to tell you that now that I'm older, I've learned that as I tan, this is something too that would frustrate me. I'm such a naive kind of simpleton when it came to makeup. I really, until I took a cosmetology course. Yes, I was licensed and owned a small business in cosmetology as well. What was the name? April's Day Spa. Because I hired nails, pedicures, massage, waxing. So it was it was like if you wanted to get your stuff done, you go there, get the whole works, spend the day. I learned a little bit more. And so now when I get a makeup that's a little dark or a little light, I mix them together because I don't like wasting things. Even though I could just throw them away and start over. If I experiment with something new because someone on YouTube said it's great, I get the wrong color unless it turns orange, which hardly anything turns orange anymore. Okay, that's my thing. I just wanted to share that with you. So these are the foundations that I have in my supply. Revlon Color Stay 110, and that's for normal dry skin. And this bottle looks ridiculous because this is a bottle that there are, if you look at it, there are 3 different colors in there, and I shake it all the time. So it's this is what I wore in my last video, and it's just not dependable to know which foundation. And that's why I should probably take makeup off of my YouTube channel title, because I'm not a makeup person. And the other makeup that I have been using is e.l.f. Flawless. I used this recently that gave me a little more color, and it is the Flawless Satin. And the color is beige, 220 beige, cool pink undertones. And I like it. It's a little darker, and I love that. And you know I'm always bragging about this, even though I don't do color. And this is not mixed with anything. It just hasn't been shaken for a while. And it is the Nude 2-3. I have 1-2, but it's too light. So I mix it with one of the darker ones or use it on a day off. I think you've seen me use the 1-2, and then I use a darker powder over it. This is a Fit Me. It's Dewy and Smooth. Fit Me by Maybelline, Dewy and Smooth. This is one I really like too. I just got a new bottle of it a while back, and it's in my stash. I didn't want to open it because I have so many open right now. And this is Light Beige in 118. Back in the day, and this is Rimmel Stay Matte. Rimmel Stay Matte. I cut the top off to dig in there. This is 101, Porcelain Ivory. I grew up only being able to wear porcelain or ivory or fair, but also I have a Wet n Wild open, Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I like this one, and it is soft beige. I started, everything I'm getting right now is a soft beige, light beige. And you know what? I like this Wet n Wild. I was, you know, all those videos about how, oh, it's so inexpensive and it's so great. And I thought, I love to try something inexpensive that's great. Because then when I started using foundation, I didn't have much to choose from. Then it opened up a whole world of so many foundations to choose from. And the price range was, you know, wow, it's that much? It must be great. So I tried and I'm like, yeah, that is great. And then I'd go back and try something inexpensive and I think, you know, I'm not so rich that it's that great. Because it's not just the foundation is $45 or $55. It's that then the lip liner, eyebrow pencils are $25, $25 to $35. And then the lipsticks, of course, are $35, $45, $55. So, you know, it adds up. And I like to have spares at the office and at home. But here's the deal with Wet n Wild. Although I believe it performs like a high dollar makeup, seriously, it performs well. But the smell is like something that would come out of the cleaning or painting closet, which is too bad. But I'll use it anyway because it's beautiful. And the smell only lasts a few minutes. And then, yeah, see, here's the Rimmel Stay Matte. If you want some full coverage, this stuff is wonderful. Wonderful. And it's so inexpensive. This stuff will cover up scars, whatever you have. And I use it, especially when I'm going out, to mix with my lotion to put on my body to give me a little, you know, to kind of give me a little moisture so my skin doesn't look so dry, and also cover up a few of the H spots. Ivory and True Ivory. No, Porcelain Ivory and True Ivory. And these have a little more color than a lot of the ivories out. So that's what hooked me on those. When I first tried the Wet n Wild, I got this soft ivory, which is way too dark or way too light. But when I'm feeling fancy, I'll put like some white here and here, right? And then the darker around the outside. Nah, I'm just going to eventually mix it with something else that's darker. I am just not that fancy of a person to mix and match all that. I'd rather put on a foundation that might be a little off and then doctor it up with foundation that matches a little more. And I had the bottle of so empty at the bottoms that I just consolidated them in this. But this is what you see me use a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm not more of a makeup person. I'm more of a chit-chatty person. I know. Well, can't help it. Oh, and I've used this a few times. What color is this? Well, it's that Instant Age Rewind eraser. But I'm just, I'm wrinkled enough that I'm not feeling it, you know? And I think it's the lightest. One of the things I wonder too is, I don't think it is, but I could experiment with it, because wouldn't this be a great travel size if it could actually take the place of a foundation? Huh, I wonder. Because when I travel, I'm telling you what, I travel light. And I put a lot of my makeup and everything in something like this. I save these empty, or I buy them. Let's see what would happen. What do I have to lose? It's just been sitting there. Yeah, this would be too time consuming for me. I wouldn't want to spend all that time. I mean, I would get a darker one, of course. Let's try it. Let's see if it's got enough coverage to be a foundation out on a trip. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh. Well, the one thing to do too, especially with this one, is don't let it sit on your face very long before you get it done. Just start spreading it around, because different foundations, different makeups have different drying times. And this one starts drying down pretty quick. I've seen worse. Okay, and then get in there and tamp it down. My under eyes are crevicey enough that this is not my favorite coverage. I'd rather use one of my foundations. My foundations do better. Maybe if it was a different color, it wouldn't show up like that, but it really does show the crisscross wrinkles. So even if it were a darker color, I'm not sure that it would be great. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with some darker powder, because that fit me. And this is 310. Thanks for joining me. I just love the company. Oh, so I was out in the yard. Can you believe this weather? It has been amazing. See, if the foundation's too light, just get out some darker powder. That's all. And I'm so white right here that, the older we get, the thinner our lips get, and the more this drops, gravity. So that's why I put a little bit of powder there. Trying not to get too much here, but at least the white under my nose doesn't stand right out. I can say that I like this powder. I like this powder a lot. I like my loose Coty powder. My godmother turned me on to that. And she turned me on too to having different shades of powder. This is just a CoverGirl lightest fair. And you can put that there. And it's a great makeup eraser. Okay, so I only have a few minutes. I just wanted to touch base and say hello. Nothing big. No topic today. No topic today. Matter of fact, this is, so far, this is my, oh, what do I want to call it? My low-key week. Everybody on my schedule is doing so well that I'm just sort of I'm sort of, this is going to sound terrible. I'm kind of in a mini vacation mode. How awesome is that? It's working out that everyone's doing so well, knock on wood. It's kind of like being in an emergency room. Never say, oh, it's quiet tonight. You should be careful. But I'm so fortunate. I feel rich that it's coinciding when the weather's so good. So when I get off work, I have energy to go outside. And the weather is so welcoming to go outside. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm starting a new project. So, this girl is on fire. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a very good time. I gotta get some eyeliner on. I just gotta get in that office today. It's a longer day. Today and tomorrow. Both are gonna be long days. But it's still not getting dark until 7:30, and I bet I can get outside for at least an hour to enjoy the weather. I can only be inside so long. And then it's like, okay, cabin fever sets in. I think it was just the way I was raised, just out in the country and, go walk out in the woods. I mean, when I was little, my mom found it easier to live out in the country. Plus, we were just small town Midwest people anyway. We didn't have all that, all those city worries. We had one girl, what was her name? Oh, I probably shouldn't say her name. But she was, she brought the big city home. I don't know if her parents were divorced or she had a relative that lived in a big city, but she brought the big city home. Matter of fact, she was in heavier drugs, super cool, and she was attractive, but she was a bully. And matter of fact, I had a lot of therapy over that girl. She was just such a bully. But she brought that big city mentality with her. Just like you could tell she'd been around. I found out later, yeah, she probably had a lot of pain in her life. Thank God I found that out. But because I could never understand why anybody would be such a bully. I mean, I just didn't understand it. Like, why in the world would a person want to hurt another person? And how in the world did, like, a girl be so bully, right? I don't know. I was so naive when I was little. I was so bullied. And I just, first I was just so malnutritioned. And was pale and long stringy hair that I guess I was an easy target. I was for someone like her. But in therapy, I was able to find the gratitudes because the big, less popular or big people who didn't like bullies, the big people who had some ethics, I guess, would stand up for me. And that's true since I was in kindergarten. Would not believe it. That's a true story. But there for a while I was so hurt I couldn't really see how much they helped me. Wish there was a way I could go back and think so. Okay. I know this wasn't very exciting today, but I'm just glad to touch base. Glad to vent. Hear myself talk, and it's like, okay. Life is good. Life is good. And I'm lucky to have the work I love. Have a lovely day. Touch base and say hi. And mwah, bye for now. Oh, bye, Frankie. Bye, Frankie. Oh, he's not going to say bye. Sorry. I'm going to work on him.